Myself, Mahesh Pandey. I'm an accredited trainer from ISACA as well as APMG. ISACA APMG. APMG is the certification body that accredits the ISACA certified trainers. Okay, you can verify my certification on ISACA and APMG website. Today's agenda: what is audit? Role of information systems auditor. That's what you are ultimately interested. Types of audit, benefits of information systems auditing, what are the modules in Cisa, and what are the career opportunities that we will be going through. Before we get into the topic, here are some of my list of certifications, and this is my journey for last 23 years. I'm accredited Cisa trainer from APMG, and I have trained professionals from 54, now 55 plus countries, and more than 10,000 professionals I have trained. Here are some of the success stories of the audit. One of that, you will find that $4 billion of scam that was identified during the audit. Another, Adelphia Communications, where you can see a fraud of 1.6 billion. American International Group, AIG, the CFO Howard Smith, of course, overstated the income of $3.9 billion. In short, that time it was 10% of the income altogether. There have been various such list, of course, frauds that you may find getting or highlighted in industry. Recent fraud, or I will not say a fraud, are challenges with respect to PTM that lapses on account of the compliance issues or regulatory requirements. So we have seen that as well. So there have been various such, of course, success stories that you can be one of them who will be able to identify such, of course, contribute to success stories. Question comes up, what is audit? In general, audit understanding is like assessment, evaluation. However, I will not say that. I will stick to two words, that is examining and testing, or testing. Now, when it comes to that examining and testing, auditor is not implementing any services, systems in any organization. Auditor role in information systems is to examine from the business objectives till the value realization. What all activities are coming in that? That is what is the auditor role, whether it is being defined and carried out as, of course, defined, what stated, maybe a contractual, all these requirements is auditor is to be supposed to be testing that or examining that. In general, you can see it is going to help you with laws, regulation, and contractual obligations that it organization has to fulfill, and that auditor is going to evaluate that. You have the processes, policies established in the organization. These processes, policies, the professionals in various departments, are they adhering to that? Okay. You have the, of course, organization is conforming or rather maintaining the information security best practices and ensuring that appropriate CIA is maintained. Finally, that you have, it's not only that to verify or the examine the legal regulatory process policies and CI, but also may you have various services in your organization, whether these services are effectively and efficiently achieving the targets of your organization. That is something which is the most important, and this is neglected area, and that is also a meaning of audit. Audit is being conducted for all these reasons. Okay, think of an organization where you may take an industry, for example, banking, okay, retail, telecom, healthcare. You may take any industry. Now, every organization, they will have business services as well as enterprise services. When it comes to business services, like for example, you have a CRM, or you may have a billing system, or you may have some IVR related system. Every system that you bring in your organization bring that with certain business objectives. You have IT who will be ensuring that these systems are in place from an application development as well as infrastructure point of view. You may have your great architects as well as implementation. You may do in-house or external. You have information security, ensuring that the security aspects of your entire service is considered, not only from the technology, but also from a policies as well as physical security. And you may have something called as with respect to people point of view. But who's actually ensuring all these services in your organization? Think from the initiation, okay, of the service. There are some business objectives are defined. Whether these business objectives from business objectives till the project planning, you have selection of supplier, you may in-house develop, or you may have the infra setup in-house again, or maybe on a cloud. You are going to implement that, of course, design, implement that, test that, and run that. Who's ensuring ultimately whether the business objectives have met or not? That's exactly the auditor is going to do that. Think from a POS point of view. We, of course, as a professionals, we know that point of sale is simply a device that we tap and pay. But if you look at from an organization point of view, who have actually implemented in a banking or a gateway provider, the provider will have to ensure the customer information, transaction records. Of course, it is performed as well as the transaction, of course, I can say POS availability. There are many aspects. Who is ensuring? Auditor. Auditor job is to ensure all this, find out the, of course, the entire working system is as defined. That's what is, and provide the non-compliance report to your, if there are issues, report to top management. And rest of the department will have to ensure that these activities are in place. Now question comes up. Whenever we set up a service, okay, in an organization, I have given various examples, and these are some of the activities start from the business, of course, objectives and vision, mission, till the continual improvement. You can certainly have a look at it, and most of you are seasoned professionals, and I'm sure you can easily understand that we will not be getting into all that. Auditor is going to ensure that these activities are being performed. That does mean you will have to interact with network, systems, application, voice, database, all these different teams that you will have to interact and understand and evaluate. It is obvious question from you that Mahesh, that do I need to have all these skills? You need to know that. Not really, you need to have that. If you are specialized in a specific domain, for example, in network, okay, or you may be specialized in Azure, okay, or AWS or a Google Cloud Platform or a Salesforce, you can certainly be a specialized auditor. You will need to have a generic understanding and you can be a specialized auditor. So as you can evaluate the respective systems and the, of course, overall objective of the organization, it is being met or not. You may identify the loopholes, challenges, and let them fix that. That's what the audit job is, to find the facts and not a fault. Okay. Role of auditor now. In general, we have understood about the services and what auditor does. Here you go exactly in terms of information systems. So I will say role of information systems auditor. Okay, now you have a clarity. Information systems, it's not a security auditor, it is information systems auditor. Develop and implement a risk-based strategy. Now when I say a risk-based strategy, I'll give a simple example. Organization, you are reporting it to, for example, audit committee as an auditor, and there are various other departments, maybe information security, IT, HR, finance, procurement, and admin, and all. Okay, you will not be reporting to any of them. You will be an independent. In general, in a small size organization, because of the resource crunch, it may be possible. But in a medium and large size organization, audit committee is an independent committee. So when you are going to be performing the audit, you will be understanding the risk, that there will be a risk register or the risk identified by the respective departments. I'm taking from a internal example point of view. You may say, if you are auditor and you are reaching out to, example, you are working with KPMG or Deloitte or maybe some PwC, and you are reaching out to a customer, you are appointed as auditor, you will have to understand the risk that the organization is facing. And that's exactly based on which there might be some high, medium, low risk. I have given a qualitative analysis of risk management. So there is a quantitative analysis. So you will be performing risk analysis based on which you will prepare your risk-based audit strategy. Is that okay? Now, you will plan, conduct audit, okay, and advise. Now this is really important. Those who have completed ISO 27001, so you would have observed there is no advice word or recommendation word, and this is exactly a difference between the ISO 27000 or ISO audit in terms of information security management system and CISA, where you are going to be recommending on specific audit actions that the auditee will be taking it up in your organization to ensure that the respective business objectives have been achieved. That is more important. They are going to fix that, okay, and you will be helping them to advise them as well. Okay, implement the risk management and control practices. You will have the evidence of the life cycle management in terms of collection, protection, and chain of custody. Now, when it comes to, you have identified certain non-compliance. For example, we'll say CRM, and you have identified some wrong entries in CRM with respect to one supplier and duplicate payments. Now that's a evidence. There is a non-compliance. You are going to collect that. You will have a protection with respect to maybe, of course, security, who will have access to that, and that all depends. And chain of custody. There can be a frauds that you may have found out or you may have observed. So all these cases, you will be ensuring that this is being taken care. That is your role as an auditor. Discuss evolving the audit principle. Now, in terms of the principles, there are principles like risk-based audit, due professional care, fair presentation, integrity, independence, as well as you may say that confidentiality. So there are various principles that you are going to follow while you are going to conduct the audit. Discuss the control framework. Now, when it comes to discuss the control framework, organization have been following various framework, and it is practically possible that how your organization may be following PMP, okay, or Prince2, ITL, COBET. There are various frameworks organization has been following. You, what is your role? You are going to understand that and evaluate or verify whether they are actually following the processes, policies, ensuring that the respective, of course, results like KPIs are addressed and taken care of. There are reviews being conducted. This is what you as an auditor will be performing. You will have evaluate as a, of course, IT operations management system database. So there are not only from a, we can say, application point of view, but you will also have the you may conduct the audit, and you will be able to conduct audit on various areas. Like, so these are some, this is what is in general an auditor role. Okay, benefits of the information systems audit to an organization. You will be able to help develop the right the IT governance. That does mean you have the governance structure established. You as an auditor, you will be ensuring that that governance structure is fulfilling the organization. That's the meaning of that. Data security cluster. Now, one of that important aspect, I will say, that is the data privacy. Okay, that is something which is concerning area everywhere in the world, and you as a auditor will be able to evaluate the data privacy aspects of your, of course, organization. So as there are there are heavy fines, you can be protecting your organization from those fines. Okay, there are types of audits. You can conduct audit for a compliance with respect to, for example, regulatory. Okay, you may have, for example, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so you may have audit, or maybe FDI, or maybe various food safety. So there are various, it all depends on the type of industry that you are in. Okay, financial audit. Operational audit. Financial audit is like in general what we consider as a, if you are a public listed company and you have a Q1, Q2, Q3. So you have the result is of course published unaudited. You must have observed that there is a unaudited, okay, audited report, okay, but you as auditor, you can have, now it is not in your domain. If you are a CISA, sorry, you are a CA, chartered accountant, certainly these professionals can join this and they can also perform this operational audit, where your systems, how they are being delivering the, of course, your SLEs, KPIs, what you have set up, the percentage availability, all that from a various of course processes point of view, you can evaluate that. You can take samples based on administrative audit, that is IS audit, forensics audit, and integrated audit. Integrated audit is nothing but some organization can conduct compliance audit. Okay, you may conduct operational audit as well as you may conduct the I will say the process audit. Okay, or the specific system audit. You can conduct the clubbed audit. So this is called as integrated audit. Okay, audit phases. There are primarily three key phases. Okay, first one is planning. I'll just show you and we will discuss one by one. Planning phase, field work, and then we have a reporting phase. When it comes to the planning phase, okay, determine the audit subject. Now audit subject is a respective organization for which you are going to conduct the audit. There is define the audit objectives. Now audit objectives can be organization wish to identify the loopholes in a specific system that they are rolling out, maybe a new system, or there are existing system. You may be merging with some entity, you may be demerging. So there can be various reasons that you are conducting audit. So you are verifying, you are understanding the audit objectives. Set audit scope. You will have to perform the audit planning. Planning is where you will have for the, you have to understand based on the scope, maybe one location, two location, couple of systems, various departments, all that you have to first understand the scope. And then the planning is all together. You will have to consider the number of auditors. You will have different set of technical experts. Okay, you will have to ensure that you have in a right templates with you. You will have right systems with you. You have the access, administrative things, travel, accommodation, various things which you have to perform that. Determine the way that you are going to conduct the audit, that is procedures. Okay, field work, when you are actually on site, maybe in-house internally, or you are at a client site. Okay, you have to acquire the data. Acquire the data, that does mean the samples that you are going to collect from whom. So you have to have that clarity. You have to have maybe with respect to separate, specific systems, could be Salesforce. Okay, in Salesforce what all modules are there? So, or you may have ERP, what all modules, and what the total number of we can say the samples that you have agreed with. Okay, that is acquired data. Test control. Now before I get into a test control, I will add one more point here is you have to prepare the test cases. Now meaning of the test case is very simple, that you have a specific role for, I'll say, network engineer. Okay, now network engineer must be performing certain, of course he will have certain roles and responsibilities. He will have to follow certain processes. He will have access on tools. He will have access on physical. So there are, and he will be supporting, he will be interacting with the third party supplier. So example, he will be interacting with the client. Now there are various systems involved. There are various processes involved. There are various controls set up for this, and this resource has to carry out that. You will have to prepare a test case, you will have to prepare a test question, and we will help you how to prepare these test questions and all this as a part of your audit exercise, your training part of it. You will have test control. Next is issue discovery. Issue discovery is altogether if there are evidences of non-compliance, you are going to identify that. You will have to document that result. Now we have, it is, for example, you have 2000 employees or maybe 5000 employees, you have two locations, you have multiple auditors, okay, and various departments and multiple auditors. You have identified multiple non-compliances. That non-compliance, you have to prepare a proper report. How to perform that, we will help you with that. And that's exactly what you have a gathering, the report phase, where you will gather requirements or the we can say report requirement from various different auditors. Okay, and club that. You will draft. it is advisable, okay, that you will not be going ahead directly with the top management presenting what your non-compliances are. It is, you will have to ensure that the draft report is shared with the auditing. There might be some discrepancies, there might be some misunderstanding, or maybe some evidences which are some resources who are not, of course, responsible. They may not be available. They can present you all that where it can be, of course, reduced. Auditor is not going to be giving non-compliance all the time. You will have to identify the strengths and weaknesses. When you identify strengths as well, it gives motivation to the respective resources in various sub-functions within IT and various other departments, that thus they will be able to, of course, you have to draft that, issue that, as there are consensus, you are going to issue that report. And where there are non-compliances, you have to follow up and get it closed. So that is also a job of auditor. So in short, I have helped you understand the audit phases. Okay. Now, Cisa. Why specifically Cisa? There are various audit, of course, courses are available. Cisa is one of the most comprehensive training program that you can certainly expect in industry. Okay, which covers 5 domains. Okay, the first domain what you have is information systems audit process, which I have covered largely in the last slide. Okay, we have gone through that. 21% weightage in your overall examination. Okay, domain 2, governance and management, that is 17%. Domain 3, information system acquisition, development and implementation. The fourth one, you have information systems operations and resilience. Last one, what you have is information system, that is protection of information. So these are 5 domains altogether. Now I'll come to that 5 domains in a while. Okay, now you have a CISA examination. This is MCQ, multiple choice. You will have only one option to select. Now there are 150 questions, and you will have to, of course, you will have 4 hours total. You will have to score 450 on the scale of 800. Now, how is the scale defined that ISACA knows? We really don't need to get into it. What is our job is to score 57%. Okay, is to score 57% to clear your CISA. Is it open book? Absolutely no. It is a scenario based. And I have observed, it is my own experience of CISA, and I have heard from various professionals that the examination questions are, you can see, one liner or max 2 liner. Okay, I repeat, examination questions are max 1 or 2 liner, but each question is a different scenario. It is certainly not possible for professionals to just go Google and find out some questions, read it and appear for exam. You have to be really thorough with that. And that's exactly what we are going to help you with this session. Okay, now coming back to the point, you can appear for the examination sitting at your home. If you have a good internet connection, you can certainly sit at home. This is web proctored. Your camera, like me, this has to be active. Okay, on all the time. You have, it is fully secure exam, and you can write your exam from anywhere, anytime. This is what is altogether about CISA examination. When it comes to the certification price, okay, the examination, if you are not an ISACA member, you will have to pay $760. But if you are an ISACA member, ISACA membership costs you approximately $150, and then if you are a member, you will get examination at $575, and this price is same across the world. This is subject to the changes on the price from the ISACA. Okay, you will have to verify examination price. If at all there are changes, someone who might be observing or watching this video in future will have to see the exam price. But at this point in time, in 2024 February, this is the examination price. Okay, write exam. Now you will have to, of course, clear your exam, I will say. Okay, and then you will have still 5 years. Now their general question comes up, sir, I am 3 years experience, okay, in information security. I have 5 years of experience. I have 4 years. I have 2 years. I have trained myself. Professionals who are to be professional, they are college pass out graduates, and they have also cleared CISA. Why? Because earlier there was a cap. Until you have a 5 years of experience, you cannot write. Now you have 5 years to apply for your CISA certification. This is in short, they are ensuring ISACA is ensuring that professionals have right merit. And although professionals who have experience like this, or they may not be especially in this area, at least two domains that they have experience, and we will get into that domains now, and they will certainly be able to get up here of one pass and then clear your Cisa and achieve your Cisa certification as well. If at all there are any doubts on that, we are here to help you. You can certainly reach out to us on the provided numbers. Okay. When you are coming for the session with us, we will ensure that you are fully prepared with all these deliverables in place. You really don't need to pay any money on the subscription of the examination topics and latest questions. There are various myths are there which you are not supposed to be getting into that. It's all about believing in your preparation that matters a lot. Okay, you will have all that available from us, and which is mentioned here. Okay, coming back. Now, as I said, there are 5 domains. Process of auditing information system. You have 21%, altogether 32 questions out of 150 questions. Okay, so that you will have for this domain. All right, keep in mind. Okay, now each domain what you have in Cisa is divided into planning and execution phase. Okay, planning is from an audit point of view, you can say you have to have good understanding of standards, business process, which I have given examples like CRM, email, ERP, you have POS, the electronic fund transfer. There are various examples. So they expect you to at least have good understanding about all these business processes. Okay, and it is our job. We will help you and we will give you the clarity about that. Okay, types of controls. Okay, there are in general 3 types of controls. Okay, administrative, physical, and as well as technological. These are 3 types of controls. Okay, now there is detective, corrective, preventive. So we'll certainly understand what do you mean by all that. Okay, risk based on, I have just given example to you. Okay, and types of audit and assessment. Assessments is something which auditor will never do. One, remember, okay, there will be some rules that we are going to create during this training for an auditor, so as you will understand this is not an auditor job. That does mean you will have to look at plain mind. When I say plain question and the auditor specific question, we have to be very clear with that. Okay, for example, I'm saying that there will be some question related to the application development. Okay, there is a SDLC methodology, and you are not going to be thinking from an auditor. But if there is a process of software development and what is the role of auditor, there will be a question, and you will have to think from an audit point of view. That's how in general, what I have observed, that the 85 questions are audit related and 15 questions for 15% question that are not related to audit, that is vanilla topic related questions, which we will be training you. Okay, now from an execution point of view, project charter, each audit is a project. Think from a organization appointing you as auditor, or internally you are being allotted a project charter. You are going to prepare a project charter. You have a roles and responsibilities in that, and you are going to be preparing that. You are going to conduct it. So you have to have resources. You will be delivering the audit. You are going to be presenting on compliances. All together, all that is what you have, and it's an audit project. Okay, sampling methodology. Now, evidence collection technique, data analytics, and reporting and communication technique. This is what is the first domain. Second domain, what we have is governance and management of IT. Now, in this, you can see here the governance and the IT strategy. There are ITs, when I say in terms of strategic committee, there is strategic committee, steering committee, IT management. So what do you mean by that? We will help you with that. There will be specific questions around that. Each topic is going to be help, of course, clearing to you. In terms of IT related framework, there can be ITL example. Okay, COBIT, ISO 27001, ISO 20000. There are various frameworks and standard organization uses. What do you mean by that? We will give you a clarity about. So I will, of course, stop that. Now coming back from a governance point of view. Now what is governance? Governance, establishing the control, setting up control. That is what we say governance. There is a concept of EDM, evaluate, direct, monitor. What do you mean by? We will clear that. When it comes to management, delivering what is, of course, expected from the organization with respect to, now you have to have right resources for that. There is a, of course, focus on the human resource aspect of it before joining, during, and after. What is your role of auditor in that, so that you will understand. Moving forward, third domain, we have the, of course, 12%. This is where you have a limited focus, and hence why limited focus? You need to have a clarity about this. You are not supposed to be auditor. It's going to be selection, development, deployment. That's not your job. Okay, keep in mind, you will have to have. There are 4 key areas in this topic. Okay, what you have? One is the project management. Then you have the development methodology, like you should know SDL, software development life cycle, from the business requirement, information gathering, and then you have the analysis, design, development, and testing, deployment, and maintain, or the, of course, operate. So we have, this is one of the example I have given for SDLC. Now, if you are from not from a C, of course, the IT background, you can still be able to understand. If you are from IT background, don't even give a excuse that I will not be able to. You will be able to do that for sure. If you want to become auditor, you will be able to do that. Control identification and design, and then the one of that important is the testing methodologies. Like you have the, for example, in general, what we can say, systems testing, we can say unit testing, you can say integration testing, you have a UAT, you have a regression testing, whatnot. So there are various testing methodologies that will help you understand. Post implementation review. Now, example, what do you mean by post implementation review? You have got a systems to be implemented, maybe a application to be developed and deployed, or maybe a platform, maybe a OS, or maybe a server to be migrated on a cloud. You have certain objectives, you got a funds, you have a technical team, you have a selected supplier, you have migrated, but will you start immediately getting results of that? Absolutely no. You'll have to wait for time till the users, okay, utilize that service and see how the service is actually behaving, and whether you are achieving your objective. You have reduced, of course, the challenges, improved your performance or not. It will take time, and that's exactly what you have post implementation. What is the role of auditor in this? Will help you understand. Fourth domain is altogether those who are in IT and in the information, I'll say the operations, production support. They are the one who will be, that is very easy for them. For example, incident management, problem management, change management, okay, release, configuration, service level, availability. There are various processes. They will have a good understanding, and this is the domain for them. Okay. Now, business resilience from a business continuing point of view. Okay, where we will have I'll help you with the most important is BIA, business impact analysis. Meaning to that here is any service which is critical, non-critical, who are the resources to be supporting, on-site, off-site. If the service is down for 4 hours, 8 hours, 1 day, 2 days. So what is this exactly all about BI, how to perform that? I'll help you understand. Okay, business continuity plan, disaster recovery test, planning and testing. All together, we will help you out with, of course, you will have a confidence that you will be able to audit in these areas as well. Last one, protection of information assets. We will have a maximum weightage, and don't consider weightage is that I have to focus in one domain. Absolutely, you will have to equally focus in all the domains, and we will help you understand how. Okay, now information asset and control. Information assets, especially from a policy processes. One, technology aspect of it. Technology, you can say firewall, IDS, IPS, you have the IoT like devices, you also have the anti-spam, you have network related device, server related device, virtualization. So there is, of course, there is some concept of Docker, many things which are involved with that, and we will help you understand all that. Okay, now last one is the security event management. That in general we have a different attacks types of it. I will help you understand that as well. You will have the one is the monitoring tools. Okay, SIM tools, what we call as, you may have used QRadar or some tools like Splunk. There are various tools are available. Nagios. There are various tools are available in industry today. Okay, if you are used that, fantastic. If you are not used that, it is my job to help you understand what do you mean by this tool and what is your role as an auditor in this. Okay. Next one is the incident response management. There's an entire information security incident management process that SOC 1, SOC 2 team that's sitting in your office, that is generally they are carrying out these activities, and we will help you with that. Now, question comes up, big $1 million question. What are the career opportunities? My dear friend, you can be an internal auditor. There are almost every organization in the world today, they are concerned about legal, okay, regulatory, okay, contractual where you have a client and their contract you have to fulfill, especially those countries where like India, where we have thousands of the organizations across the world, large organization offloading their work to India. We are into development, testing, management, or support for application infrastructure monitoring and whatnot. So they have to have the right set of people, and not necessarily from IT point of view. Think of telecom organization, retail organization, or oil and gas, power, energy, n number of course various different types of organization, and there are huge or significant opportunities that you have as an internal auditor. You may become an external auditor, independent auditor, I can say that. Okay, that is what is auditor. IT analyst, IT audit manager, you can have various roles available in industry, and this is as per the US, but you can have country to country, there are various roles available. In India, I will say that average salary of a certified Cisa professional with right knowledge is 25 lakh plus. I said minimum, okay, I said minimum, so that you can expect. It all depends how you present your, what are your capabilities, how you are showcased. I have example of a youngster, I said that, who have, there are many, of course, one of them I want to highlight, the professional who came to me during the session, and like many, I have trained almost like now 700 plus professionals, uh, of course in public, in corporate, maybe over 1500 professionals I have trained, okay, total. One of that I want to highlight here, a graduate, that is bachelor of engineer, okay, and who came to me and we mentored, and he did CISA, and of course he was going to US. My dear friend, he has actually got a job in Big Four with the 100K plus salary starting with. That is remarkable achievement. I have not taken the name, so there is no breach of confidentiality. Okay, coming back, here are some of my picks for you to have a confidence. I'm sure IEVISION will help you achieve a CISA certification goal, and we are here. You can certainly look forward for joining us. Thank you very much.